Welcome back to the MSI group stage in Berlin and our first tiebreaker game between RNG and the Flash Wolves. The stakes are very high in this matchup as the winner will secure the first seed going into the knockout stage and the ability to choose their opponent for their semifinal matchup. Now, before we get into this tiebreaker itself, I kind of want to get a refresher on the last two times that these teams met up against each other in the group stage, starting with their first game. Obviously, these guys are in a tiebreaker, so they tied their series. The first time they played, you can see on your screen right here, it was a runaway game by the Flash Wolves. They had Ezreal, remember, double tier was pretty big. You got to see the mid lane Karma game, but it never actually got rolling for RNG in that one. Specifically, the Maokai got so far behind to try and jump into those fights, and the Trundle Cho'Gath were taken down, but RNG has changed their picks a lot since then. Yeah, and this is one of my huge problems where I kind of hit the brakes on RNG in their draft phase. The fact that that Olaf was picked into the Trundle and that Maokai was picked over an available Ornn. So very questionable decision-making in terms of just the draft from RNG. And we've seen so many teams moving away from these crit AD carries, right? The Tristana from Uzi have never really got a chance to kind of come online because Flash Wolves were playing such a strong, fast-paced game. Let's move on to game number 2 between these two teams in the group stage. Talk about that one. Obviously, this one fell in favor of RNG. And I came into the day and I was like, Flash Wolves are about to just get shellacked. RNG are mad. It's time for them to turn on. Immediately, we have Return to Comfort. It was the return of Uzi's Kog'Maw. It was that priority pick of the Malzahar, the first team in the tournament to really grab it before TL also ran away with it, and they just played more so their style. Now, interestingly, blue side won both times these teams have previously met, and RNG with side selection did elect for red side. Right, and I also think both teams have changed a lot since then. This is when Flash Wolves was still trying to counter Kai'Sa with Kog'Maw, and then the first one was when they were still picking Maokai over Ornn. There's also a different jungler in this game to keep in track, so I do feel like both these teams are a better version of themselves now. And when Flash Wolves have been successful, a lot of it has been due to last picking their support on red side, right? We've seen Sword Art do this time and time again throughout the tournament. And when Uzi is this on point, one of the ways to protect your bottom lane is by kind of having that last pick for the bottom lane, get the second support pick, get the advantage down there, because if Uzi's ahead, he seems unbeatable. Which is why I think that by picking the red side from RNG, it's really going to be about that karma flex if it's able to go through. RNG have done this time and time again. Now the Flash Wolves have pulled it out, and I think that's going to be kind of the big go-to thing to look for in this draft phase. Well, with the recap behind us, I want to turn our attention to the tiebreaker itself. Let's get your predictions up on the screen. Who's going to win between Flash Wolves and RNG? All three of you have predicted RNG in this one, so I'd like to have the reasoning behind that. You've come to the dark side, that's fine. I think it's recognizing what Flash Wolves are good at. You know, again, Ezreal was just talking about the counter pick support. They picked the red side. I think the Karma Flex pick is going to come through. Something that's so unique about RNG in the LPL is the depth of their champion pools. They love playing on red side because of this, because anyone can play everything. And I already entered one prediction for the greater glory of guests, so we got to go back to it. RNG played such a good game against TL, and I do think they are getting better and better and better. And you can think of some of the ways to attack them. It's like, oh, target Uzi and pick ban, triple ban him, but then you're giving up priority elsewhere on the map, and we saw how damn good Ornn was for Let Me. So I do think there's a lot of ways for them to get advantages. You talked about the Karma as well. It just feels like they're too hard to punish in pick ban, and when Flash Wolves' strength has also been the bottom lane, I just think RNG is better. Jat, being in that unfortunate third position, even though you predicted RNG, I'm going to force you to give me the win conditions here for Flash Wolves. For Flash Wolves, all right, they're going to have to somehow have more people bottom lane than RNG. All right, because the last game, even though RNG took a melee support into range, they ganked it so well that it didn't matter. So it is literally all about splitting the jungle, getting down there, making sure Uzi can't get ahead, but everyone in the LPL tried to do that, and everyone's trying to do that here. It's not that easy. Implying near impossibility for the Flash Wolves. Let's find out which team secures the first seed as we head over to Freak, Papa Smoothie, and Officio for RNG versus Flash Wolves.
Thank you very much. I am beyond excited to be here. The battle for first place. Flash Wolves started out 6-0. Dropped through in a row, but came back to take down Kingzone to be here today. So the question is, what form they're on, how good are the strategies, how will they figure things out. Meanwhile, you had kind of the opposite story from World Never Give Up, where they had a very up and down start, but won a lot towards the end here. And as we saw from the analysts, are now favored.
Yeah, we suddenly see Uzi, of course, carry a lot of games together with Ming from the bot lane, and a lot of focus was around, can Flash Wolves maybe stop the bot lane of RNG? I actually want to highlight that Hanabi could be a person that could become the MVP here, because he's been looking really good at carries.
And I absolutely take that point as well, Deficio. I was thinking, what about the top side, where 2 games against Kingzone, Hanabi has been able to play champions. We didn't really measure up to the sort of tank champion pool that he was playing the majority of this tournament. So the top side could be more spicy than perhaps we've been led to believe.
And here we go as the Kazakhs is banned away. No Kai'Sa allowed for Uzi as well. Of course, another champion that Betty's been keen to play. That is going to be a tax on their champion pool and their draft phase for the rest of this tournament. As we know, both these teams are secured to be the high seeds in the semifinals, heading for first place in the choice of which team they fight. Now, no Vladimir Pashak.
Let's talk about why RNG went red side for themselves here. Karma being one of them was touched on by the analyst desk, potential flex pick. I think also the fact that if Trundle gets first pick by Bujin, Melonlay0即can lock in Graves. And then you have the same kind of game which we saw with Caster from RNG, but it's all about just trying to invade level 1 and stay ahead as a Graves. And that kind of shuts down Mujin's effectiveness in the jungle. Of course, there's also the third one, which is the option to counter pick for support if you do need a winning bot lane matchup.
It's very difficult for blue side to put enough pressure on to remove the red side last pick from really answering a lot of the sort of strategies that Flash Wolves have been finding core tenets of their victories. The pushing bot lane and the early movements we saw from them against Kingzone were a highlight earlier today. In the first pick here, and they will actually first pick Gangplank. So it's certainly a Hanabi champion, but not necessarily one he's excelled on compared to the rest of his pool.
But it is a champion where, one, he's obviously able to be a damage dealer on the team, but he brings a global ulti that can impact the bot lane, which can be so important if Flash was want to go all in for that strategy of trying to shut down Uzi and Ming.
Trying to shut down Uzi. Well, here's a Karma for the LPL once again. You expect it to be played, of course, by Xiaohu in the mid lane, but we have seen Ming play it earlier. Either way, it's going to be lots of shields for that puppy dog down in the bottom lane, whether he plays Kog'Maw or not. That is how you refer to Uzi here.
Israel is also here. Last time we had Israel and Kai'Sa banned on blue side, and then Kog'Maw becomes their priority pick for him, but Israel has just been fantastic this tournament.
They get a flex pick that they've already shown they can flex, and one that is core 10 of their victories, and also this champion that does so well in lane and has the earlier power spikes as well. So a very fearsome draft on the red side, may in fact be the entire duo lane. As for Flash Wolves, how will they start to make things happen? They just blind pick both their solo lanes in the first round.
And I wonder if Flash Wolves play the same kind of comp they did just an hour or so ago with 4 squishies and a split pusher, because that did work against Kingzone without a tank at all in the lineup, a thing that we see so rarely, requires you to get ahead, and they're saying with Graves maybe we can do that. We also know that with Betty happy to play Ashe, even if Varus is banned, he's happy to tank some more bans through the second phase.
Yeah, that's enough AD carries for him. I want to see if Melonlay0即grabs Lee Sin, like he did the last time someone actually grabbed the blind Graves against him. Obviously, we saw earlier today Kingzone, when they saw the situation, they took a Zac, which did not work. He got invaded.
Jungle horribly.
Exactly. That should not be the pick for Melonlay0即. I think he needs something where he can actually duel the Graves a little bit and defend.
And that scenario is not already written in stone either, because they could have taken the Karma mid lane and had priority. But it seems like they're going to take a page from the Team Liquid playbook. The first ones that they showed, the Malzahar jumps onto the Rift again. Very good champion for turning onto a Graves if he goes for an optimistic steal on a jungle camp.
All right, well, Shah, we're going to go back to that Malzahar he brought out, MSI, and Liquid said, you made this, I made this. We like these champions too, and it's almost been synonymous with Bow Belter, but this could give RNG a lot of tools now. Zoe does not innately have good ways of outplaying a Malzahar.
Also looking at these bans here, Freak, you already highlighted the Varus, Kog'Maw being one of the other ones. We get the Lee Sin ban that we just talked about for Melonlay0即. If he's on a ganking jungler and you have Malzahar mid lane, it is a very strong combination to shut down Zoe, which we have seen during this tournament that you can really gank hard, and it's very difficult to escape with Zoe's ulti.
And even this decision of when do you pick up the QSS, a struggle that we've seen most teams not have full answers to. Earlier Zoe against Ascarno that time delayed the QSS and then was attacked relentlessly. Alistair ban actually comes out here against Sword Art's famous roaming support.
So of course have the Ornn as well. That was a huge pick for Ledme in the game we just watched before here. Fantastic engages on his side, works extremely well against potent champions, just due to his safety and the range. So that should be the choice for him, and then they can still go for jungle last unless there's some reason they would actually save top lane pick, but they already see the GP.
Yeah, I don't think that Gangplank is flexible to support or something, so seems a likely spot there. I would expect to see a top lane pick up, and either way, the Flash Wolves put their bans actually at early game junglers that might match Mujin's pressure, getting rid of the Lee Sin and Olaf, hoping that they put Melonlay0即onto a tank, even the reasonably fast ones, but no, he still goes for a fighter. The Xin Zhao is here. to try to match up with that.
And second time we've seen Zijao this tournament trying to attack strong jungles. That was into Olaf. Now we see it against the Graves in this particular game. Mujin playing it earlier this tournament in a loss. Let's see how MLXG does. He played this in the LPL a couple of times.
We might just get the Janna plus Ashe bot lane from Flash Wolves that worked very well last time. Oh, they're actually going for Soraka. They want that advantage over the Karma here. Soraka was so good first day, and then she just completely disappeared.
And it's several globals now for Flash Wolves. Gangplank and Soraka, both from 6 onwards, can affect any fight anywhere on the map. We'll see if a split push ends up being a really big deal because of that.
Gotta say, it plays into the Ornn once again because of the ability to actually get the back line with some CC threat. We'll see what the decision will be here. On paper, a self-counter pick, but you can potentially get the all-in lane, whether you go for the Grasp or into the Unsealed Spellbook Ignite. So the self-counter pick, but what it provides against the Soraka and the backline threat. Of course, disarray around the very squishy core of Flash Wolves. There is no tank on the blue side.
It's gonna be so fun to look at this game here in the early game. Flash Wolves with their Graves, which become a priority pick for a lot of teams because of how strong you are in the early game and how effective you are at invading and fighting around these walls in the jungle. But as we highlighted with MLXG, he was not looking to grab a tank for himself and just look at all his camps disappear. No, he wanted something where he could actually fight back, especially with Zhao, who's level 6. That 2v2 skirmish around the mid lane, it will kill anyone.
Absolutely will. There is no big health bar on the side of Flash Wolves at all. A bit of time bought maybe from Soraka if she's in range for the W, if not just the Wish. But still so many prime targets and a lot of good crowd control on RNG's side. This game is going to be volatile. You pick a squishy team, you've got to get ahead, and if you do, it looks great. But if you get behind, nothing can withstand the hard engage. We know these teams are number 1 and 2 out of the group stage, but they're fighting for seeding. They're fighting for the option to dodge the scariest semifinal teams here. I would expect that to be King Zone that you want to dodge, but it is, of course, up to them.
It almost feels like we're playing for the winners to come together in a semifinal. Very likely the winner of this game choose the winner of our second tiebreaker. No guarantees, in King Zone looking more fallible than anyone could have guessed, but on paper, that's our expectation.
And now it is time to get into this one. The cheers are here again. The home crowd, mostly all for Royal Never Give Up, who have been pretty delightful despite a couple of early shakes in the beginning of this group stage, but have looked on form recently. Uzi's been big. The rest of the team has rallied around him quite well, though. And Ezreal for Uzi. Ezreal's been a huge champion so far at MSI 2018. Uzi's been massive in his own right. Here we are, 30 seconds in. First place tiebreaker.
I have to imagine this level 1 is an action-packed. We already see Ming and MLXG rushing into lanes, trying to get as much information as possible. Both these junglers for a nice start.
It's always the same we see with the Graves. You walk in and you want to get a ward on red buff. Mujin is actually starting with the sweeper in case he needs to deny any vision away from the enemy team. On his side though, it is kind of just Hanabi who can actually ward the red buff, and you see Let Me is sitting ready. I'm actually so glad we've had a lot of these different level 1s during the tournament, because sometimes you just end up not having anything to talk about for a couple of minutes. Here it's like, oh, where did it move in? Do they ward the red buff or not? When do they do it? And this time, it is Hanabi's turn to do it.
2018 meta certainly has been passive at this point. The ward was placed in a different spot than you might have expected, but will eventually be spotted out.
That's why he started sweeper.
Sweeper duration there. The moment he saw the sweeper, that's why the ward was placed in a different spot than usual, but still cleared out by the Graves.
Damage back and forth there. Like, he's going to go for the solo on the blue buff. They know about it, but it's not going to matter as Uzi and Ming get the early pressure. Hanabi pushed out a tri-brush, but okay, grits his teeth and survives Let Me. This is this time around going to be Klepto on the Gangplank. You typically see Grasp in the hard matchups you want to survive.
Also here, Freak want to go straight down to the bot lane, because what's happening here is that Ming and Uzi wanted to be in lane instantly level 1, so they could act getting some control in case MLXG needs to invade the enemy bot side jungle. For now, he is just doing his own Raptor camp, or Wolf camp, sorry, while Mujin is stealing away the Raptors. So the Graves gets his preferred start, take away enemy camps on top side, and now he has plenty of time to go down bot lane, so MLXG is set behind.
2017 Worlds meta, rushing to the second rush in the bot lane and making sure no one was camping in to get in position to prime the minions and get the roll onto level 2 and thus pushing advantage.
MLXG making the smart choice, knowing and actually seeing where Graves is going. He's going to go for the scuttle real quick first, but he might have license to grab the blue buff away. He managed to split the jungle. This time around, sort of cross-shaped jungling. It's vertical for the Graves, and wow, MLXG looking to make top lane hell. This man has never needed level 3, Deficio. He loves his level 2 ganks.
He has to charge.
Especially. Yeah, he's got the knock-up, he's got a quick slow. Gonna be landing that third auto attack. No, an early flash on a B1 to not be killed off, but it's still summoned her down.
Another advantage about the Xin Zhao pick here is the early gank potential for him, but it does mean he's not stealing away any camps from Mujin. And Mujin has grabbed another Raptor camp, he's grabbed his own red buff, will now get all 3 camps on top side. MLXG, this is kind of what he's known for. He likes to go for these extremely risky plays, and if you don't expect it and you end up dying to it, he looks fantastic.
He's a gambler. He loves to opt into some of these paths he just never would have. He never tries to min-max like most people do when it comes to farm. He does give up a blue buff refresh, but still finds level 3 and still going to try to be powering through his jungle and then looking for some of those things.
Just getting his farm up and everything else. Of course, that scuttle was taken. And the quick reset means Challenging Smite is in the inventory of MLXG now, so he's in a decent spot, but only has Gromp to kill before those Raptors respawn in about 40 seconds. So Mujin's turn to walk top side. I think maybe expecting something cheeky out of the fact that Hanabi is shoving so hard right now. Sneaking out the second brush going to be possible for Graves here.
Yeah, normally just here to provide safety and counter gank potential, but if Ledley goes for an all-in, there's a chance.
They've got 2 slows onto him. The chase then is there. He's got to flash away, so a trade of summoners finally. Hanabi no longer so afraid of this top side.
Mujin gets to push the wave out as well. Not bot lane.
The flash forward, the Ignite Design is going to take the Qs, and that's going to be Sword Art blocking up with Barrier on. Keeps Betty alive. Good clutch play out of the Soraka.
Yeah, you gotta think so fast here, Sword Art. Okay, they're going for the all-in, block all the different skill shots.
Speaking of all-ins,
Ledley's gonna have to work this one. A huge knockup! He's all in for this one, and now that's gonna be away. Now a double slow to the last side. Betty is quite low, and they don't find the turret aggro. A double kill on the front side of MLXG after Uzi gets one.
Execution on top side is so difficult because Graves can't do damage reliably if Let Me stands behind this turret, as the nature of those Graves AoE auto attacks. In the bot side though, Xin Zhao is easy to execute. They get the double kill, they get out. Huge lead for RNG.
And we just talked about MLXG's playstyle when behind is often just look for some of these plays and look for some of these ganks. He looks to the bottom lane. There's no camp for him to take otherwise except for the Crux, but he's fine. He's doing it because he can go for kills.
He was spotted on the Hawk shot, but there really wasn't many options. They actually got a redemption. We didn't see that off screen coming from the mid lane. Thank you, Zoe. The moment that the wave was grouped, there's no exit from Betty, no summoners left up to contest this. Very nicely done by RNG.
And I really don't like that they walk so far from the turret. Xin Zhao got to pull aggro and walk out of it so quickly. I think you have to assume you go for a trade kill there. Make them take aggro in melee range and go for that Soraka silence and root.
Well, right now, this draft, this draft of Flash Wolves, it's kind of falling apart. We're only 6 minutes into the game. They wanted a Soraka bot lane against Kyle. They grabbed the Ashe for Betty. Look at the CS. Almost down 20 CS, 22 precise here. Uzi is just sitting behind the minion wave, poking them, and yeah, they can get a bit of vision in the enemy jungle. Do not fully spot MLXG.
Why we have to focus on that, Deficio, is consider the first round of the draft. They blind pick both solo laners and their jungler to allow an entire bot lane to be selected after 4 champions were locked in by RNG, and then that lane is getting dominated. The draft and the play by RNG, the Flash Wolves really needed to make this double range lane work, but the moment that you add in the Ashe, it was going to get difficult to actually win 2v2, and the jungler just kind of ended the trading phase.
It's clearly just so hard to win these lanes against Uzi and Ming, and it's also the second game in a row where we see Ming flash forward on this support, aggressive, looking for 2v2 kills. It forced Betty and Sword Art back onto the turret. Got a couple of summoners, and that allowed MLXG, despite being down a level, to show up and then execute the tower dive. Great start from RNG. They're once again reacting so fast to what's happening on the map.
And this turret is so low already, only 7 minutes into the game. Anytime Xin Zhao shows up, they can dive and knock it down. Even the 2-on-2, it might simply be enough. This is huge advantage out of that bot side right now, and Flash Wolves have yet to find their answer. A comp that is so hard to play from behind. They're all squishy. This could be absolutely massive for RNG. Take that first seed and send a message on this win.
Big change in pace for Maple. Very early QSS, even before a lost chapter, so he can have lane presence post 6 if they don't have vision of the enemy jungle. 7 minutes into the game, we're already going to see the gold. It's going to be solo gold on Uzi. It always is. Uzi getting bigger and bigger. Look at this, a 2,000 gold lead.
I mean, he's more than double Betty's money right now. It's actually ludicrous how far ahead Uzi is right now. Of course, the gank's help. First turret, all the farm, 39 to 75. It's almost double the CS on top of this one. This is probably the biggest mismatch I've seen all MSI.
Yeah, and he's already playing an AD carry that will be fantastic in the mid game on its own. Now you're so far ahead of the enemy AD carry who's stacking crit items. It's going to be insane how much Uzi can do once he gets his 2 items, and he's going to get them quick.
Everything Flash Wolves prioritized has been turned against them, with the bot lane losing so handedly. Game may not be decided, but if RNG continue on this pace, making controlled aggression plays that didn't look likely 4 days ago, they will be our first seed team in MSI.
Royal never give up. What a great run they've had so far into this. Now looking for Mujin the flash. They've got the open. They've got all of the damage they could possibly need. Melonlay0 getting the kill on this. And he's here to make sure Uzi says, I might want that red buff. Fighting the top side is letting me push back Hanabi as well.
Talked about this in champ selects. When you have level 6 from your Malzahar with the ulti, and then you add in a champ like Xin Zhao, there's a lot of damage coming against a lot of squishy champs. And all Zhao needed to do was just flash forward and click R, and then Melonlay0 could finish the job.
And that time it needs 2 flashes. If you can keep pushing this vision forward and you face check a Xin Zhao, he can start with his Q and have his audacious charge up for the gap close. He can do the work himself as well. Full damage expected out of Melonlay0, and RNG still pushing on the bot side.
Ooh, another dive.
Hanabi, he's got a trinket ward. He smells this, and now he's got to run. Ooh, nice job getting rid of the barrel. When they go for the slow, yes, but now right in front of Graves. Underneath the turret, 2 versus 3. They've got the burst damage. They should be able to take him out, and he oversteps himself. But Maple will not find the drowsy. That bubble will not get his target. Well, anything more to do that.
At least one sighting of Melonlay0 before this game is over. Went for the super aggressive dive 9 minutes into the game with multiple people off the map and not showing. That one was
that's when you're confident in your lead. Uzi and Ming sadly could not really help him once everyone ended up showing up from Flash Wolves' side, but that is the first kill for them. They are very far away from getting anything else on the bottom side, and most importantly for RNG, Uzi still farming. He's going to hit 100 CS very soon.
Yeah, this wave is going to be it. Nope, just kidding. He's going to back off. So get that later on in the game, but we can watch this dive again. And Melonlay0, I want to see when he notices.
I mean, Hanabi shows that he knows by starting to walk away earlier than ever. Teleport comes through from the mid laner, and yeah, that one was optimistic by Melonlay0.
Can't completely blame him, but you're right. Graves was suddenly right there, and yeah, you take a lot of risks, and sometimes they do, of course, backfire. Blue buff will be handed over to the Flash Wolves mid. Maple gets that one without any worries.
And to be fair, Melonlay0 did trade his life for a TP. A full cooldown teleport now from Maple, so he will definitely call it worth. And I mean, generally, if you can trade 1 kill for a TP, you're gonna take that. Like, you don't mind your jungler dying there.
They run that power spike, of course. That timing. When he's making fun of junglers, Papa Smithy doesn't seem to agree, by the way. I think it
TP for a kill? Yeah, you definitely take it.
Can be debatable. I would generally take the kill, but you know what, Deficio? You played in the EULCS, I didn't.
I'll take reasons that the game might slow down for RNG for 500, because it felt like anything else they did, they would have
he flashed onto it! He's dead! He's so dead! He's gone! Mujin gets the kill.
Did he just flash in place?
Yeah?
Let's not dwell on it.
That one is not worth it.
But he got the arrow on cooldown.
That's worth it, right, Deficio?
Yeah, sure. Same cooldown, of course. Rift L getting started, guys. Focus on the game. That's important.
But these are the picks that Flash Wolves need to get back in, though. These long-range ultimates and the stuns. We talked about his Ashe last game when he was up against the Tom Kent. He was up against Yasuo when these arrows are going to be hard to land. This time around, other than Malzahar, there's only good targets for an Ashe arrow. You can chase down those targets. So these kinds of picks are what Flash Wolves need. Long-range bubbles from Maple, arrows from Betty, and those double global ultimates of Hanabi and Sword Art. Let's see if they can make this happen. Nice pick up there. The Raptors went over on the blue side.
Lemmy continues to go for lane. He's got Iceborne Gauntlet to keep the trading decent against the gang and keep him honest. Melonlay0 top side to help Uzi. They want to take a second turret here, RNG.
Good at this yet, though. There's not quite that same threat of dive. Sword Art still has Wish and Barrier, and Betty's got heal. difficult to kill these champions sometimes. Still, Uzi is safe and he can get some damage. Doesn't mind to take one auto attack and a shield on him.
Uzi is so far ahead in terms of items. Betty just sitting on that Warhammer. We do have Mabel moving around. There's no wards behind RNG, but they don't really need to worry too much. It's only GP that can TP in, and let me can match that. Same for Xiaohu.
And I gotta mention that RNG have much less control around the river than you might expect with the lead they have. With Malzahar able to roam through, usually you want to get wards either aggressively or down the river with control wards. Stop there from being any collapse from the Flash Wolves when you try to take the secondary turret. Flash Wolves are able to happily roam through. That means that RNG's push is a bit slow.
All right, let's see. Betty's arrows are so good that it forces you to flash in place.
The mind games.
He's smart.
Unless he was being so selfless, he's like, Uzi, you can save your arcane shift. I'll take the arrow.
Save your mana, my friend. Save your mana.
Uzi. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I wish more players would flash into arrows for me. The shit we should do us sometime.
Oh, I would never flash that for you. I would start flaming you the moment you get hit.
I thought the NA versus EU banter would be in the next game. We're just giving a bit of a preview on
it early. All right, this is still, of course, a very good game. 3,000 gold does put World Never Go up ahead, and they are looking to keep this push going. Again, such a hard comp to play from behind for Flash Wolves. Most of these dives can work out, and these picks can work great.
Yeah, well, we've seen two good picks now for Flash Wolves, one on MLXG and one on Ming. Uzi is still just farming, and same for Xiaohu. Like, their CS numbers are fantastic right now, so we're still kind of just waiting for RNG to make the next play around the bot lane. I think Uzi's just getting a little bit annoyed that everyone is dying around him. Let me might die here. Ah, he's fine.
He's going to walk away with that. Not enough crowd control here for the team. Infernal Brick spawning in 5 seconds, and you have to expect World Never Give Up wants that. They've kept their dual lane top side, though. Typically, you see them come down to the other side of the map. They're going to be prioritizing the turret over that neutral right now, and maybe they'll play back rise.
I do know that Uzi's build path is like phrase when it comes to his double tier. Ezra is going for the Trinity Force as his second item. Flash Wolves have no frontliners, and usually Iceborne wants to kite tanks and to open space from your enemies. Uzi's going to be using his Arcane Shift aggressively, and the Trinity Force damage will help it out.
Let's see if Flash Wolves can do something bot side while Uzi is still sitting top. It is difficult because he brings TP, as we've seen so often from Ezra here, so he can just constantly move around the map. MLXG, he wants to fight.
Uzi wanted a Hanabi. He's going to try to find some way out of this one. He's not going to dodge the knockup. It was a predict on the flash, and he held it. So he's able to actually walk away, and now Soraka is here. MLXG pops the ult to get away, and now Xiaohu's here. He's going to find Sword Art. That could be the kill, but first they're going for the front line. And can they get the first?
Uzi's here.
Not just yet. Uzi joins in from the backside. There's one kill picked up, but a drowsy champion could be a kill. They can't find the autos, though, as 2 kills now picked up, and Hanabi has nowhere to escape to. This gangplank is certain to die. Into the depths you go, getting revenge for everything he tried to gank earlier on. Buying a lot of time, finally does go down. Uzi making that one happen. 6-2 now on the scoreboard. Nothing lost by RNG.
Yeah, no risk from RNG. They can walk up as Maple tries to make an escape here very easily because Uzi has the teleport. They'll always outnumber, and all Ash is getting is a bit of free time farming on the top side of the map.
Well, that happened. Betty was sitting top lane, but he doesn't even get to fully push in the wave before he needs to recall, knowing that Let Me can just show up towards the lane. So RNG, they started the fight with MLXG's gank. They react instantly, and never feels good to have to place your Rift Herald all the way in your own base.
I mean, all the big tools from Flash Wolves are being used reactively. We haven't seen a turret dive with a cannon barrage. We're seeing the Rift Herald summoned as shallow as possible. So they're not able to impact the movement of RNG like they were able to King Zone. That means the gold lead just grows, and sadly, even with free time, the Ashe is 50 CS behind the Ezreal.
Difficulties abound for Flash Wolves. They get a bit of turret damage because they were able to stay topside and grab the Rift Herald. But World Never Go Up. It's just a story of this team who has catapulted their way upwards in the standings by the back half of the group stage and are poised to look like that #1 team.
It just feels like TP Ezreal is the dream for Uzi, because if I have one criticism for RNG, is that their 1-3-1 setups are often, how can we get Uzi the most farm? With the teleport, he can instantly collapse himself and go for that farm, and so we go.
And they're going to collapse onto the mid lane. There's the knock-up. The kill comes in. MLXG grabs it for 300 gold. Betty low on health and Sword Art, a brush from death as well. 6,000 gold ahead. World Never Go Up staying in the mid lane for a little bit longer, grabbing that farm. They have control of this side of the map. Top lane is away from the turret as well. They're going to wait next wave mid and go for this turret here.
They have control over everything, and they have such a good composition to keep forcing fights. Let me get the Ornn again, and he can start the engages here. Xiaohu comes in from the flank, times it with the Ornn ulti, and then there's nothing you can do as flash rolls because you're just locked in place.
Nice try by Maple, only tags a minion here. Looks for a little bit of burst, but Uzi answered that back with the Q. Will never go up, just getting more and more of this map. 7,000 now their lead. They have played not only around Uzi, but everyone else. Melonlay0即, they thought they could push him down on his champions, grab the Graves, ban the other aggressive ones, and he says, no, I'll take Xin Zhao. And has had a pretty damn good game. The ganks have come through. KP5.
Really is a fantastic story for RNG this split. Like, it was a very rough regular season. Entering the playoffs as one of the lowest seeds, but it made it all the way through to the final. And now we get to see here at MSI, they've really figured out what kind of drafts they want to play. Ornn, Malzahar, big picks for them, and of course Uzi wins every single lane with Ming at the moment.
Definitely been on fire outside of that first Team Liquid game, and now we get to games like this where this momentum-based draft from Flash was really honestly predicated on Mujin being able to dictate to Melonlay0即with a farthest point away from that. Being able to make positive moves is one Ash Arrow burst. The Ash Arrow doesn't work, the game plan kind of falls apart, and it feels like RNG decided everything that happens on the ring.
Yeah, so they didn't get to win in the jungle, then maybe down the bot lane with the Ash Soraka pick. They are kind of hoping that Betty and Sword can match or maybe beat Uzi and Ming, but that wasn't even close in this game. Here we've now seen a few teams try this to see if they can get a superior matchup on the bottom side and see if they can shut down RNG's bot lane. Uzi and Ming, they say, nope, we can win every single lane.
That's not that crazy. We got Uzi get back and looking for a couple of defensive spots. It's a broad sail build for him. Pieces of equipment. Redwood's Omen already done for Melonlay0即. He will withstand damage easily. They're going to find that stun once again. Ming walks in to tank it.
He's the greatest support.
Uzi could have flashed it, but Ming decides to die.
This time we can't deny he was actually cleaning up after his 80 carries mess. Uzi not going to use his flash defensively in this game, it seems.
Oh, actually, Uzi was he was asleep during it.
Yep.
What I could see,
I
Mabel
missed that. Okay.
had landed a bubble onto him. To be fair, he was hiding in the brush, so it was kind of unnoticeable. Let's see bot lane.
Meanwhile, hiding in the brush isn't going to matter for Hanami. That's going to be a quick 3v1 kill. Xiao who gets the kill credit, and a bit of help from the rest of the team as well. Looks like as we're getting some attack speed, so Uzi gets kill participation.
Only good news story is there's no objectives for RNG to pick up on the bot side. It's only going to be a kill and backing away. Ash continues to be a side lane threat. Already a disaster when it comes to what they wanted to do with this draft. As he piles on the numbers, he's always ahead of the clock, but sometimes he gets to marks that really make the journey.
A lot of people, of course, looking towards the playoffs. Always highlight Kingzone and the Korean teams in the best of 5, but this RNG team here are really showing different kind of drafts, a lot of different picks from each player. Showing that all of them are actually performing at a very, very high level today. If they can lock down this game, of course, be the first seed. See what this replay from before Uzi gets hit, I believe, by the bubble. Actually, might just step into it then. And jumps back. Oh, just the very, very last second
really,
there.
Yeah, and he just stands in front. He says, okay, I will die for your mistake. That was Uzi misclicking his arcane shift and taking the drowsy. And Ming loses the KDA for it. True support. Pour one out for Ming. But now he's back in action. He's got Ardent Sensor, not even upgrading his boots, but he's here to play Vision Control for Baron. Already being attacked, actually.
Another true support rushing that Ardent Sensor. See if RNG can set up around Baron. 21 minutes in. Last game, they looked very good around the big objectives. Uzi, as we highlighted earlier, not only is he winning lane, he's also on Ezreal, who spikes so hard on these two items. He can do whatever he wants.
Melonlay0ici's so far ahead, and they feel like they're so far ahead that he's just going for initiating build. He's going for the Audacious Charge to the Randuins. He already has Randuins this early in the game, so snowball tankiness rather than snowball damage.
Fable. Oh, not doing anything. There we go.
Suppressed QSS on, gets silenced again though, and the flash to chase forward, the slows are in. Nothing Sword Art can do in time. Great kill picked up.
Good vision control. Papa Smithy, they will grab the top lane turret.
Easily. No map controls. Uzi does have the QSS now. He's turning.
Does it immediately. They got a lot of crowd control. Mujin not quite knocked out. Ranging buys some time. Uzi in the front line, but he gets attacked for it. Then a half HP has to run away. Also with the cannon barrage. Turret's going to fall though, but this could still be a precarious dive. Not a lot of places to go.
Still pushing the top side of RNG. Uzi a bit too ready to go when it comes to the front lining on the Ezreal, but backs away, and RNG bringing a huge minion wave.
Shield is onto Uzi. They're going for a lot of damage here onto this turret. Down a half right now. Hanabi forced to kite back. Looking for volley, looking for damage, but he's still going to stay up, and the turret is gone. And RNG with the Mantra Inspire Shield going to run right back out.
Get that turret here. Baron was not touched during this fight, but the vision around it was important to create the first pick onto Mabel, which then set up another fight around that mid lane with Uzi. RNG can go back, full reset, get all your control wards once again, and then go to Baron. I think Flashful's only hope is to steal the Baron and secure a big win in the team fight around him.
While we had a Baron stealing day yesterday, seems very far away from that today as RNG are one of the teams that have shown very much improved setups around the big purple worm. Items here still really smart, and a couple QSSs to go with a 9,000 gold disadvantage on the side of Flashful's. See what the pickup is on the back here from Uzi. Might just be the entire Archangel stuff.
A lot of money in his inventory.
I mean, right now he has over 11,000 gold in total, and betting is just hitting 7,000.
Yep.
Yeah, it's ludicrous.
And again, the Ashe Soraka was picked after.
Yep.
Lane here, so it was certainly picked for a win, and it's the farthest from it.
Well played. I mean, this is one of the best bot lanes in the world, if not the very best for a reason. And even with counterpick, very few players could ever hope to withstand what Uzi and Ming can do in that bottom lane. They're going to find a Drowsy here. Still has the QSS available this time. And there will not be any follow-through anyway. 4 people on that side of the map. Looking for the next push right now is Royal Never Give Up.
I do wonder what the learnings is for the next team to face RNG in the best way, specifically on blue side, because the Karma or the Ezreal, which one do you ban? You'd love to ban both. There's other things. The Karma allows them to be a bit more free with their choices when it comes to the counter pick on the red side. But we'll leave off the theoreticals, because it's all about the real stuff right now.
Lundy does not yet sound the horn, but Ghost is in. Also, Shirelius. Now comes the attempt at the play. Sword out a bit low, but is he an easy enough target? Redemption buys enough time, out they go. A couple ults down.
A very important disengage from Flashful's. Great smoke screen coming in from Muujin. We actually stopped Xiaohu from flashing forward and just holding on to someone like Sword Art. That now means Flashful's buy a little bit extra time for themselves, but RNG are still in full control. Melonlay0 looking for more. You kind of just need to see Xiaohu flash forward with that ult.
There's actually that ward sitting alive inside that pit as well. Now it's killed, so now it's darkness here. RNG starting up the Baron. Of course, pretty easy with Malzahar and everyone else, so can Flashful space check this? Can they stop it? It's getting burnt down so fast. Cannon Barrage actually going to force them back, so a few seconds earned. Also a Drowsy onto MLXG. Not going to matter.
A disciplined choice by RNG. They know they can pull away and still have pick tools like the Malzahar Flash ulti.
Oh, they see him.
Oh, doesn't quite get that angle though, and it spits out of the wall. But the wind lane wave is cleared, so it's a bit more time that Flashfuls can buy for themselves. Makes Uzi sit back and clear the wave. Maple has to give up this one, as you might have to start playing for this Baron yet again. RNG setting it up continually.
Bot lane could also be a problem. Giant wave getting pinged by both teams at the moment. They keep buying a bit of time here with the Ashe, shooting in the Hawk shot to see what's going on. And at this point here, RNG can just rush it down.
And they're not going to face check. There's too much threat right now. Flashful's going to give it away. Need to go for a turret kill. The Baron will be secured. World Never Give Up going to grab that one. And Uziel, oh, they're going to look for the re-engage. Knockup only finds a single one. But is there a follow-through from Xiaohu? Gets the silence. He's going to go for the ulti. Flashes in. And he tries to bait the QSS. Doesn't get that one to happen, but a flash out from Maple. Now looking for the next one. Muujin running out of help. Jumps over the wall. Uzi still in the chase. Jumps right in. He's going to try to find that kill, but Wish buys some time. And they might get one Drowsy. Not just yet. They've got Sword Art. The barrier pop, and the kill comes through. In the back lane going to fall. That's Graves. And everyone else just kind of dropping and running away. Gangplank was the one to actually die. Muujin's still stuck on the wrong side of this fight, though. As when he jumps the wall. Only 2 will die, but Baron dead means there's so much more for RNG to push. The wave's already here for bot lane.
And RNG gallop from all directions looking for kills. They show a lot of respect. They wait out cooldowns. The Baron take was once again immaculate. MLXG chased away from one inhibitor, but 4 members looking to crack another.
And this is definitely a dead inhibitor. 5 seconds on Sword Art, 15 on Hanabi. On that Gangplank in the top side. Base cracked open, 13,000 gold ahead. Uzi just pops the QSS, walks away. He's not going to be a target here. Royal Never Give Up, not going to give up anything. I couldn't find another word.
Well, Hanabi, he wanted to find a ward he could TP on, but sadly for him, there is nothing behind RNG, so Flashful's cannot chase and try and get any sort of advantage for themselves. They are so far down in gold. luckily for them, they're already locked in playoffs, and this is purely for first place with this tiebreaker, and it's just the Baron getting rushed into a great engage from Ledby once again on the Ornn. Massive pick for RNG.
They come from all directions, a flying V almost. Xiaohu, MLXG, Uzi all approaching from different angles. That means that Maple has no breathing room to look for paddle stars or look for the trouble bubble. Uzi gets in the front line, and while they don't instantly kill anyone, Letme is unkillable himself, and it just felt like it was inevitable cleanup from RNG.
And I am in love with Xiaohu going for the Flash E, trying to bait Quicksilver Sash.
Yeah.
And Maple just held his nerve. I really thought that was going to be a Force QSS and an ult. It was almost beautiful, even though it didn't mean much. Either way, 2 for 0 plus the inhibitor, still a great fight for Royal.
I gotta say, RNG just impressed us so much with the way they're playing, because if we look at this team historically, they've always had very skilled players, but always seem to lack something in the macro part. Like, we're very messy games, a lot of fighting happening, but I really feel like, especially here at MSI, we're seeing some really clean games from them. When they get the advantage, they fully understand how to set up a Baron properly, and they're just not giving teams a lot of ways back in the game.
And all this set up in half a split. That's when Uzi joined the team after that Chinese New Year holiday. They come in, they develop a very long run in the playoffs, but eventually the champions. You're seeing the fruits of their labor now at MSI.
Of course, we'll see more from the labor of both these teams here. Flash Wolves will almost inevitably be the #2 seed heading into the knockout stage, the semifinals here at MSI 2018. World Never Give Up with this fight might claim that #1 stage. They've evaporated one. They're going to look for the second. They've got that a double for Uzi, looking for #3. He's going to find it. Can he get more? As the rest of the team is forced to run out of, he gets rid of some of the minions, but just runs away from his base. Now Maple has an extra flash to burn to get away. The knockup not going to land. That'll let me. And the kill time is going to time out anyway, but they might just get that 4th one anyway. He does. The unofficial Quadra is in. And Gangplank will just run and hide, nothing to defend. Royal Never Give Up make the run through the back half of the group stage. They will claim the #1 seed, crushing Flash Wolves under their heel. And they will have their choice of semifinal opponent.
And it was pure domination from RNG in this game. They win the bot lane. We have in the mid lane, the Malzahar pick's been huge also for Xiaohu. Great start from him to go with MLXG on that Xin Zhao. So just a good pick and ban phase, but even better execution in-game from RNG.
And I'm not looking to get into greater than chains, but I just think about 2 games between Flash Wolves and Kingzone, and 2 games between Flash Wolves and RNG, where they've been dominated in their last 2 games from very early in the piece. Meanwhile, Flash Wolves have had the tools to make Kingzone look ordinary themselves.
Yeah, that's really the biggest thing here for RNG. Now they can pick who they get to face, and if we're looking at the teams in playoffs, we know it's Kingzone, we know it's Flash Wolves, and then it's either Team Liquid or Fnatic. If you're RNG, you're most likely looking towards one of those. You just dodged Kingzone in a semifinal by winning this tiebreaker.
Yep, and of course they're going to dodge Flash Wolves as well for what that's worth, because you can't pick them. Not that it was all that relevant here. So it all comes down to the next match on stage, the end of the group stage, Fnatic versus Team Liquid for who is that 4th seed. The team that we expect RNG to pick as their first opponent. Up to them to decide, of course. But that's going to be the next one here. Who's going to round out that bracket stage?
We need to celebrate RNG for their victory here and what they've achieved. They started slow. They didn't even look convincing in that win over Fnatic on the first day. But just like so many teams who fell away for a time, they've come back stronger. They still play through Uzi, but everyone else is picking up their role in a way that makes you feel like they're the well-oiled machine that other teams were hyped up to be.
Yeah, and we have to remember they only arrived in Berlin the day before we started the MSI group stages, were of course a bit delayed with their travel. So the first few days being a bit slower, we can definitely excuse that, based on things like jet lag and getting used to Europe and Berlin specifically. The last few days, they've looked like the clear-cut best team, and that's, of course, why they sit as #1 now.
And you think about it, it's on the back of a lot of players. It's not Uzi 1v9. He's not carrying in spite of his team, though a great player he is. It is all of RNG playing well around him. Sure, Xiaohu is happy to keep playing the Karma and just give him that support, but it can go elsewhere, and you can put him on a bigger carry like a Malzahar to make the picks and make the big plays. Letme's been pretty good on the Ornn recently, and MLXG you can push down a champion pool, and he still looks good on something like Xin Zhao, so a fun team to watch out for, the #1 seed of the group stage. But now, for more on how RNG did secure that first seed, let's head down to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Freak. After day 2, we had said it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Flash Wolves, they started strong, and RNG finished in dominating fashion here. I mean, taking down Flash Wolves here in their final tiebreaker for the first seed. The Ezreal and the Karma go over to Uzi and Ming, and it's all over from there.
And it was almost comical how far ahead Uzi got in these last 2 games. He was 100 CS above the enemy AD carry at 23 minutes.
Before even, it was like 22 or something. It was insane.
Back home in the LPL, Uzi would say, "Dabawo, come and beat me." The thing is that he was the superstar of the LPL. He stood up and said, "I am the face of this region." And we had so many super 80 carries come into our league. Jackulov and iBoy, the international stage should know. And Uzi just tossed them around, toyed with them.
You talk about this CS lead built by Uzi, but it is important to acknowledge that it is a duo in the bot lane. Azale, I want to hand it off to you to talk about Ming and Uzi together.
Yeah, and I mean, I was just so impressed with Ming, both against TL, but also here. And the early stage of this lane, it's Ming hitting Q after Q after Q on Sword Art. Sword Art not able to hit a single attack back. Even in just the first couple waves, Sword Art has already had to use 2 potions. He hasn't even hit a spell. He hasn't even hit an auto attack on Ming. Ming is sidestepping every single thing and hitting every single Q. This is a bottom lane that was picked to counter what RNG is playing, and when you get straight up outplayed that hard, it doesn't matter what the matchup is, you can't win.
Yeah, and I love how they work in tandem with Ming pushing them off the wave, and that creates space for Uzi to poke with Q. They get them pretty low and actually are up about 20 CS by the time the Xin dives them about a minute later. So just an incredibly impressive laning phase. And yes, Uzi is amazing, but you do have to give credit to Ming.
I mean, just ultimately a show of mastery. And again, as we've talked about, what this results in for Uzi, even in those initial minutes, is an incredible CS lead. The fastest first turret take of the entire MSI group stage from just these 2 guys. Of course, there was that little dive that came through from the Xin Zhao as well, but just utter domination, starting in the bot lane and then rolling all the way across the top of the map.
You're gonna see this all the time. RNG will always give the first tower over to Uzi. His #1 first tower priority domestically. It just gives him that extra gold bonus heading into the mid game to be that monster that RNG just built around.
Now, for Flash Wolves, though, they still are going to secure that 2nd seed moving into the semifinals, and so this is something I don't want to, necessarily ignore the 6-0 run that they started the group stage with.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, they did have a very impressive run. Obviously, their last couple days were a lot more rough, but now they're going to be playing up against Kingzone. It's going to be Flash Wolves and Kingzone. Very likely, we're assuming that RNG would pick NA or EU if they win. And we have to remember, Flash Wolves, the one team they were 2-0 against was Kingzone. And while it is a different beast going into best of 5s, that's going to be a good matchup.
And they beat them today. Yeah. The very same Flash Wolves that we just saw lose terribly to RNG actually beat Kingzone in, what was it, 26 minutes?
Right. It was a similar time frame. They just got beat in a similar time frame to the time frame they beat Kingzone in earlier today.
For me, okay, I'm just going to throw out some speculation, some ideas. I know that Flash Wolves and RNG are very close teams. The LMS and the LPL, they scrim all the time. There's also a really good scrim record. It could also be that maybe you take the Western team because you see them as the weakest, but maybe they also do go for Flash Wolves because they think that they know the team so well.
That is gross.
It's true.
That is just gross. I don't know another word to describe the amount of damage.
It's
unfair.
You're not allowed to do that.
I mean, now I'm starting to believe what Frost has been preaching this entire time. Do not. I know it took me this long.
The Church of Uzi. Hallelujah.
I was waiting for some teams to show us the correct response or the way to take down Uzi on one of these champions that he's shown such power on. But I'm starting to believe that unless you remove him from Kai'Sa, Ezreal, and Kog'Maw, you just don't stand a chance.
You actually just have to ban it.
Yeah, and the champions that we're seeing them succeed on are different than the champions we saw a lot of these guys qualify for the tournament on. But the general state of the game, when you looked at the 4 teams that were pre-qualified, you go back to the very start of this tournament, we're thinking, wow, probably the 4 best performing AD carries from those regions were on the victorious teams. And there was going to be this giant showdown to see who was the best. The damage percentages that both Uzi and Double have to put out for their team are MSI group stage records, right? And Uzi has been that much better than every other AD carry, especially if you take out the first 4 games, 5 games of the tournament. They were undefeated in the second round robin after they warmed up. 6-0 if you include the tiebreaker. Uzi is the best AD carry in the world right now.
There it is, hands down, it's been said. All right, let's head over to Shocks to see what RNG's mid laner says after that win.
Thank you very much. I'm here with Xiaohu from RNG after they locked in first place after group stage. And Xiaohu, congratulations. What a difference between the first phase of the group stage and then the second phase where you've now beat everyone and grabbed #1. How do you think and why do you think you were able to put up such a big performance in the second half of the group stage?
就我们看到你在小组赛前半段、后半段有特别大的改变包括整支 RNG， 想问一下你们是为什么做出了什么样的改变，能让你们的表现这么样的不同？
我觉得就是我们原本就是拥有这样的实力的吧，因为可能刚来的前几天大家都是比较疲惫的嘛，然后也没有特别多的训练，然后前面可能打的有些不好吧，但是后边就是还是都互相信任对方，然后就调整过来了。
They think they're just playing normal. They think this is how they should perform. The first phase, the first couple of days, they're jet lagged and there's not enough practice and they're not in their best forms. But since they adjusted, they are now in their normal shape, and that's how they performed.
Do you think in your best form there is anyone that can keep you from the title?
那你觉得在你们现在这个状态最好的状态下，你觉得有谁可以阻止你？
Hello，
你好啊！说实话的，我是觉得就一个队伍如果连胜的话是非常危
会送
15
耶，
是可能连胜之后
累积15场
出现一些心态问题吧。 我们现在
需要
就是也是要，
虽然现在的我最不喜欢这个主播，我不行，我刚才关掉。不知道，我觉得什么汤米、瑞克斯都很烂。检验人员啦，会以汤米这样的奉公守法。不过这个不是重点，我们的。
你讨厌汤米哦？
我觉得不怎么样啊。
我觉得他跟球球两个嘴超贱的。
他们两个一起的时候是两个一起耍贱，还好。对。可是就两个没料仔，你知道吗？
两个耍贱仔。
两个斗夜洞没料。那你知道重开了。 为什么阿阳总是不选角？
很猛吧？
都这样。是说都7-3，都7胜3败，为什么 KZ 不用打那个？为什么 KZ 没有跟他们打？还是他们要3个轮流打一圈？他们不是7胜3败吗？是6-4哦。哦，对，他们6-4哎，干，好废哦。哦，6-4仔，算了。 么久？
大家都在看比赛吗？
是。
是。
不会吧？干什么 NAEU 没什么好看的。
嗯。
菜鸡互啄。
菜鸡。
估计在上游戏比凯瑞尔 Fnatic 比小王子会 Fnatic 做的事还更多，很靠背。我在想这场要玩什么，每次总是要思考这件事。
变一个贼。有门多。
You reek of fear.
我 OK 中傻小啊，讲中文好吗？
为何现在才忽然讲不 OK？ 哇 ！AD 带传送 ，AD 带传送。
好莫名哦。等下跟他讲。靠背。
害我兴奋一下，以为 AD 带传送。我也想带传送。我也是啊，我想说，哦，他用蒙多打菲斯，我不知道啊。
他不就是这个意思哦？因为他只是哦，他就一直，我以为他用蒙多打菲斯诶，干！我想半天，蒙多康菲斯没有啊，你在想什么？他不就长那样子？就是一个坦克打菲斯，然后菲斯已经推一推之后跑他妈跑线跑到别的地方去啊，要我打个屁哦！
哦哟，神啊！带点燃，怕。
阿明大爆睡，
很好。
果然是需要冷气的妹。当然是该剃毛了。
为什么？
怎么？为什么？
为什么该剃毛？
热啊！
哦，
热啊！热啊！热啊！ 不是吗？虽然我也觉得 BLT 比较可爱。
好不容易毛才长得还不错，又要被剃掉了。
毛长得不错。搞我的聊天GGC Garena 聊聊就是爆炸。
为什么？
刚刚他连续一排，你知道一排，在我右边，不是我一排那个 GGC 聊聊，我想要把它关掉。他刚刚拉几下变成一排，我以为他直接爆炸。
哦，来了。嗯。
应该不吃鸟吧？哦，下蹦不起手刷一圈。哦
30 seconds until minions spawn. It's smaller than the diagram. Flame over bronze.
嗯。
干好可怕！
来了来了。
瞬间秒杀我的眼，我的眼就这样死去。
哎，他们出去了。
感觉他们回去找刮寻仇了。他们有看到我啊，应该不会回去吧？
AD 还不错，我擦了一只眼。
蒙多帮也鲁小他哎、没吧？他们耍智障了。
那个，哎，不对，他真的哦。
不会，那边不会，那边不会，他们要上线，准备上线了，因为兵线都过去了。 兵线过去了，那个不可能再去闹了，闹的话是那个跟智障一样。
哇，对面是科瑟。
飞是往哪走啊？我好害怕啊！哎，我遇到就是卡莉丝哎。
嗯，在哪？
在河道。
嗯哼。
不过他只有那个，他只有2等，我看起来我是屌打的，所以我就觉得随便的。他该不会去打鸟打成这样子哦？还是在这哦？欢迎看看他。
嗯，蒙多说好的屌打呢？
他说屌打飞丝，不是说屌打那个。
好哦。
替他小澄清一下下。
可以。
我红被偷了，所以他是骑上半步是不是啊？干，让我亏爆，感觉差青蛙。那我第一轮真的不能做事，没有红利大师。嗯。
凯撒这个 skin 他丢的那个招好难看出来哦。怎么是白的啊？
原来是因为这样大家才会，
我刚刚还没有看出来，他丢了。
他们两个都交闪吗？交闪2个闪是不是啊？看你这个不太会亏兵啊，还有。
哈利斯有残血吗？没有。
残血吧，
残血。
半血。
好。
对。看就是刮自己船上线的事情。
啊！
奇怪了，那他现在在上半部。哦，没有哦，对不起哦，我需要提早知道这件事情，因为我已经跳下来了。你先撤退吧。那个位置我过去，他一定跑掉。你赶快走吧。
哦，肯定是在中啊。
因为他永远在上，然后慢慢绕去中的。
这里有眼。
这有眼。
嗯。
那就他要
过去，他们过去了。
那也会吧。他又补了一根眼哦。
对啊。我要上路。
就不用理他，低那个，全世界都知道卡利斯在哪，就是他不知道。对啊。
我以为我压对面，殊不知这样 AD 还吃兵还是输死机，什么？不妙。
他也没有吃我的鸟啊，他只有吃我的红。而且我刚刚本来想吃他的红的。飞斯警报！我真是最不 gank 的那种，真好，舒服。
哇 ，AD 怎么闪回去？没救。
这我就不懂，飞斯交啥招啊？那有蓝吗，卡莉斯？
哇，我没有看清楚哎，他刚刚一直在吵我。
看来要把蓝吃掉了，没事，照刷，有什么就刷什么。
弟弟刚为什么闪回去啊？不然不会死哦。
我来了，我来了，我来了！我没大、啊，我没大说很难救你的、啊。当然，天助自救者哦，加油，辛苦你了。我也是不懂为什么他们要这样子杀你，也没有一直杀，应该说一直蹲。拿一个蓝，我想起来，因为你拿人家蓝嘛，干。你拿人家蓝，那当然恨你入骨。我到现在怎么都一直没有办法探到那个视野，怎么还要亮资源？神经病是不是？我吃个水龙先。
我没有进草吗？我这只眼有进草啊。这里有眼。
嗯，不然我是吃水龙，我吃完了，我没资源了，我得回家。
好好哦。哦，超扯！
那个我阻止不了，送他吧，无所谓。哦，我这场我要改一下出装。我吃完水龙就是要付出代价的，没办法。爱吃就吃呗，那种东西也要吃。
这男孩子上来给我打，到底是有什么毛病哦？
我吃个蓝下去吗？我直接下去，我直接下去，我直接下去。
我，可是这边有眼呢。
我扫眼啊，就来扫眼的，你知道？
哦。
靠过来呗！哇哇哇哇哇哇哇哇哇哇哇哇哇哇哇！这个不妥，你这样。
对啊，那边有一只红眼，那边有一只红眼，我拍不掉。
我知道，不是啊，那边有一只红眼，可是我们3个人可以猜眼啊。那个
我有过去啊，我有过去啊。
他没有来。
对啊。哎，这边，我看过去哦，我看过去哦。哇，有不错不错，赞。跑了。阿范不是要回家？这边下路回家了。
旁边会有一只大卫斯，我来了，他没大，这个感觉追得到，他这个得要交闪的那种。 欠揍。那虎该死去，白木在那边垒。我在想我要不要吃那双死，赌一波好了。的未踩死。
上在线上。
我知道啊。弄死他呗，办。
有。谢谢。哦，我怎么一直吃到 AD 的兵呢？
他是不是要死啊？感觉会死人，没死哦。菱角海族吧，菱角海族 OP 啊。怎么了？开始久等。
对，他下来了。我拼卡利斯下来了啦。
让他死去。
还是死掉了。
我来了，往我这边跑哦。那我要走了。这样怎么意思啊？ 知道。
那玩蒙多为什么会一直死啊？
一定是跟对面 PK 啊，然后就输了。
哇，好想要把下塔点掉哦，可以，快要可以拿手塔了。
所以你们呗。
哦，好，你们可以先拿，你拿。
没有你们，只有我。
好，你。今天怎么一直漏兵啊？哦，超北宋。中路传送。
还是在旁边啊，找你玩的那种啊。那大家天然隐形哦，王八蛋。好，我来了。可以打了哦。
哦，下都过去了。
哇，我错了。
他们放他。
快逃啊！挂！
我们在靠哦。
我不过去了，我要弄。
哦，好，没事。
我要当个称职的一大师，在野区狂抓狂弄，不做别的事，等尾头。
我身上有2200，他吵死了。
蒙多好吃啊，这样子觉得吧？确实还蛮欠吃。看一还一撞墙。
下路不见哦，下路不见哦。
好哦，那走。我看他们出现在视野里面。
哦，在中路，在中路看到了。
没事没事。哦，我还等着要用 Q 来闪招哎。好爽哦！有没有开秀
？OK， 一个白的胶。
有没有？算准时间 Q 一个。就是这种是那边有鸟，他们直接丢招傻，咬不到人的鱼哦，还能丢。
天线好远。
放生你，没大绝，我有大我解放。虽然有打会死来，给他一个尊重好了。有人让手休息。我打出他闪现来啦，可以的啦。转角逮到他。我推下，我先把下塔拿掉。下塔剩一毛，欠人猜。
什么？真拿插眼却没有插眼，可恶！被骗了。
好奇怪，没有人来守塔。
对啊。我以为那个 AD 排位可能挺高，因为他吃兵一个屌牙，但是好像不是，好像。歪，哼，我歪。
快逃！不行，这个不能上。
他们追不到我啊！我觉得你比较危险。
我不会，我超级安全，我可以开大加宝数。
嗯，等一下。刚刚我们好像有人跟闪，然后没过墙。是我们蒙多吗？
是。
为什么要R我？R我是没有用的。哇，我没有管 AD 死活。
不妥哦，不妥哦。
这里有一个残血的。
走喽，走喽，身上2000多块钱，2800块钱，我走回家了。
好。
让你们来打击大，感觉有人要被开秀了。没有哦，看来体质很好，没死。
没事没事，蒙多坦的。
弹的弹的。
哇！我走了。
好，随你。感觉有人会去找蒙多麻烦，哎，没有，我去找阿瓜。也没有人要来吃红，好奇怪哦。
啊，叫他退不退是？
随他呗。笑死！拿走。先走。
为什么我打菲斯那么痛啊？他怎么这么薄啊？
是我打菲斯，不是你打菲斯。
我刚刚一个 RQ 打的蛮痛的、啊，
因为我们两个一起打、啊。
这样啊？
是。
我们进不去，尴尬。
我好像压根不想赢，分推中。
哇！哇！这样还是死啊？好吧。龙要掉了。
不知道，应该不会吧。
哦，他们在推下哎。嗯。不知道还有哪些人在下路。
一直都没到现在都没发现他的鱼丢到我身上了，妈没屁用吗？我就觉得很奇怪，正常人是有学习能力的吧？哦，刮这个可惜没活着。
啊，
他开车。去。然后他不知道会被凯撒斩杀吗？我看人要被斩杀了。
ADS 啊！
有人要过来吗？不知道，我压根不想过去。我给他个机会。挑战失败，下次再来。然后呢？大家知道吗？哦，致死宣告不是实行宣告。哎，干那！夸张哎！
哎，蒙多在干嘛？
我不知道，我不想理他。我觉得自己扛得住吧。
拍谁！我刚刚没有给你视野。
在跑啊！哦，算了。看，跑得快吧？狂跑哎、欸！所以我没有那么会跑的、啊。因为大师追人的时候追得好开心哦。
对啊。
好快乐哦。我满装了。
啊！
就在这个时候，我已经6大装了，干！把你们的兵都吃光光。
好愉快哦！愤怒。
我也刷超快了，瞬间吃完也快了，连一个技能都不用按就吃完，超级快的。472跑速，脱离战斗之后真的跑很快。好 ，go！
哇，我没有扫野，我还有5秒。
我死去了。
哇！失败。 哇，我没办法。
没有。我默默的跑去吃这个远古巨龙。赶快求我，等你复活再吃完。
我应该我还有26秒。
你觉得无法26秒之前吃完吗？太天真了，我可是没死得已。应该瞬间吃完。
再见了。
好，等你好了。
哦耶！天哪，怎么这么好？哇！有点想出席科的聚合之力。
出。
好像蛮好玩的。对，你就有点燃效果，超猛。AD 好像没有。
要绑的那个人才有啊。
不是我说 AD 没有拿到远古。
没有，我根本没等他、啊，我不想等他。
蒙多是不是故意的、啊？蒙多是故意的吗？
他们狐假虎威吼。
看来 AD 放不到啊！
神啊！敢投降斩！干你吃的哦！你默默跑去吃巴龙了，好哦。
我刚想说，我们不是都在下吗？是谁吃的？
应该是挂。默默吃完巴龙。
蒙多能不能不要闹啊？
我都想去哪里？
害我最后打的莫名其妙。
刚才在洗伤害。
然后12点半来洗洗睡吧。今天好晚哦。
啵啵。还没吧？我看一下。还没。
Giving a little bit of extra gold over to Team Liquid, but obviously that is the one way TL can start a comeback is crazy base defense against Fnatic and their onslaught.
I mean, Caps fully commits. He's going topside. He can't even rejoin this fight.
等下就开送哦，小王子跟大师兄。小王子跟大师兄一样，都开送。
Just a single Q can DPS down the Gragas. It doesn't work. This time, it works much better.
That flank from Impact down the base gate, really crucial as well. Sets up that kill of Double if grabs, and Double actually gets all three in this fight. That's a big surge of gold for the primary carry.
So important that Double saved his flash. Does not make him an easy target to aim for. Same thing for Pro Builder in the next fight. Always gonna be stuck in a tough situation where you can only devour one target, but Fnatic's engage can actually hit multiple with the Rakan from the other side.
上次的黑熊呢？
Fnatic still have bags of gold on their side. 10,000 up with double inhibitor down. They have absolute map control. The Baron is almost a foregone conclusion. Liquid are going to be rarely able to leave their base.
A bit of time because of the respawn timers, but that can be cleared in one round of sweepers if Fnatic.
唯一的方便之处，按个 K 就有唯一的点。
Everything pushing in and TL, whatever they decide to do, they can't. And they have to fully commit. Weaver's wall. Does it for Belter?
应该不会吧？他们一定是选欧美啊。
There's a lot of wards from TL around the Baron to see if anything is happening, but they're gonna do Blast Cone trick into it. So TL did not see them walk by down here on the bottom side. They don't actually know if the Baron is started just yet. They're on.
看来 EU 大于 NA 了吗？他们有2条火龙哎 NA。
Blue trinket used by Fnatic. Actually checking for a death rush there. And now Caps surfing forward, looking maybe for Double, who is on the front line. This could be scary.
啊，坦肯奇跟咬啊，坦肯奇也有水丝带啊。 看起来妥妥的。
Fnatic moving back towards the Baron. The bot lane in here, perfect timing for Team Liquid. Just respawned.
他是不是？对啊，他是不是故意不吞大师兄啊？我上面那个弹幕在刷的。心机。
大家都一直说欧雷有心机啊，应该是因为应该是在讲他以前的事吧？
不是吧？一直都觉得他很故意不理大师兄吧？
而他之前在台湾不是也是吗？就是都放成 AD 啊？
是吗？
对啊。 之前就说啊，
我只知道他上车。
欧雷 love you。
那个是谁？乐乐吗？小人独烂的人。
Yeah, they're getting ready for the final fight. If Team Liquid lose this 5-on-5,
感觉要苟住嘞，写法已经4件套了。 等一下，死帽掏出来，无人能敌了。虽然说差呀，已经5件蛮多。我这扣狗模4件装啊，4件装的扣狗模大于5件装的差呀，可以的。这个其实也是可以的，是不是？等一下要被挡啊？感觉等一下他就开解法切入啊，解法这个可以切入啊。哎，这么晚吞是怎样啊？哎，他们是 Impact 跟那个都不玩啊。哇！ 玩得跟狗屎一样哎，怎么玩成这样啊？
玩得跟狗屎，
玩那么烂啊！真的很烂啊，真的很烂。就是这样被秒杀哎。
OK。
这个时候去打是干嘛？你写法没有陈述啊？他们在想什么？是不是开送啊？为什么要这样打？没有意义啊！为什么要这样子去进攻？开送，这干嘛？
Fnatic make it to the top 4. They're going to Paris. Servant win here for Fnatic. They're not celebrating yet. They know there's still so much of MSI.
为什么要这样打？为什么要过去？
哇 ，Fnatic 赢了。
怎么输给这种烂队啊？
And all that roaming paid off as the front line just couldn't stay alive long enough for the Cog Mortar.
为什么要干这种事？欧雷此时开了深渊遨游，冲去接掌。
9-0-2 in the end. Fnatic been looking for that second carry all tournament long.
一个送掉哎，
不是刚该开的时候还不开啊
Well, we've talked about trust a lot for Team Liquid to begin because, of course, Ole subbing himself out and all the struggles they had, the trust falls weren't there. I think there's almost that same analogy with the Xayah Rakan not being completed last time.
那个他那边可以秒杀后排的喽，那个装可以秒，直接秒啊！差呀，那边又没有足够防装，给气哎！随便丢啊，随便炸，没死就杀别人。
But I do still think Fnatic have had one overperformer in the mid lane. This has been the breakout tournament for them. Caps, a newly crowned European champion, and absolutely massive 5-2-9 was involved in almost everything.
I think you're 100% correct, but also Broxat in the jungle. What a tournament! The guy you don't always notice when Fnatic plays. It's always about the 2 big carries, but this tournament here has been very solid from his side, and another good game here on the Trundle.
Well, let's spare a thought for Team Liquid, who are eliminated after this result. Remember, TL were a laughingstock a few days ago. It seemed like this would be a tournament. It will be a very dark day for North America. They come back. They do force a tiebreaker for 4th. So in some ways, they are able to reestablish a lot of those hometown fans' hopes. Couldn't quite get there, but they were close.
And that's the crazy thing, as you mentioned. I think every North American fan was just like, all right, we've written them off. You know what? Yep. All the Canadians were like, I'm glad you didn't put the Canadian flag in your jerseys. We're not represented by this 0-4 garbage fire. But yeah, they made the comeback start happening. I mean, they went like 4-2 or something on the back half. Like, that was a really good run. And suddenly everyone was like believing. And then Evos gets the win on Fnatic. And Liquid fans like, well, what if it really happens? Of course, you got this close and it couldn't come through. Fnatic deserving that win in the end.
100%. Double lift, did not make it out of groups. However,
it's an international tournament that he can remember, right?
He looked so good in a lot of these games. He was the main carry for Team Liquid, and all their compositions were built around him. And in this one here, he was under a lot of fire, a lot of pressure. He got a bunch of kills for himself, but he could not get TL to the win.
Couldn't quite get over the line. Most damage in the game, but it's not going to be it. That is the end of the tournament now for Team Liquid, but Fnatic will move on. And let's send it to Shox and hear what Fnatic's mid laner thinks about securing 4th place.
Thank you very much, guys. I am joined by Caps, who again had a huge game for Fnatic. It took... Caps, it took blood, sweat, and tears once again. What does it mean to you to finally, after these hellish 2 days, come through and make it to Paris?
It means so much. I feel like it's been like a roller coaster where we like win 2 games, lose 2 games, and the games have been back and forth so much. We lost 3 games in a row, so NA would have false hope. But in the end, we just pulled out the same comps we played before, and we managed to pull it off.
So this indeed, as you say, it looked more like the comps that you want to play in the champions, for instance, the Xayah Rakan combo that people wanted to see. How important is that confidence boost you get off this going forward?
I mean, it's really good, especially because we're going up against NG and we're going to need all the confidence we need. I think that NG is obviously a really strong opponent, so we lost to them last Worlds, and if we want to have any chance of beating them now, we're going to have to give it all.
I love how you already think, well, they're going to pick us anyway, because RNG has to pick their opponent between Kingzone and you guys. We'll see later how that will be like. I want to turn the attention towards you for just a little bit. The story has been all about Caps as a singular carry up until now. In this game, you did get to be joined by Reckless, who had a monstrous game on Xayah. But when it comes to you, do you think your performance in the group stage was MVP worthy? Because at many moments, it looked like it. And then at some moments, it didn't quite look like it.
Yeah, except for that the game 4 and 5, I think, were just all bad games. I think it's just 4 games where I just performed really poorly. But I think every other game was really good for me, and I don't know what exactly went off those 2 days, but we're gonna work out on improving it, and it's gonna be really good now that we have like a few days to practice new champions, and maybe we'll see some fun things in players.
Let's hope so. Finally, the fans here have been cheering for you all the time. Is there anything you want to say to them now that you've qualified?
I want to say thanks to all the fans. It was so fun, especially when I was watching the NG game. There were so many NG fans all of a sudden. So that was really fun to watch.
Over to you guys.